Hi guys, and welcome back to another tutorial. Today we're working on the advanced color grading and we're going to be using Blender to do that. So if you've not downloaded Blender, there's a link in the description and we can get started. So let's change this here from the 3D view to the node editor, and at the bottom here we can change it to the scene tab. We want to check use nodes and backdrop, and we want to delete this by pressing X, and we can drag this out of the way. I'm going to press Shift A and input either a movie clip or an image sequence, so whichever you want to work with, that's fine. Okay, so now let's check here at the bottom here, 235 frames, so we can set the frame rate. There we go. And then let's go over to the resolution settings. So you want to input the resolution that your movie clip is. So we've already got a preset here for HDTV 1080p, that's fine. We want 100% and make sure you select the frame rate. Okay, so now we're here at the output, we might as well input where we want the movie clip to be saved. So if you want to be a movie clip, you just press accept. If you're doing an image sequence, you want to make sure you create a folder for it, so all your PNGs will be. And we don't need to worry about the sampling right now because we're not using the 3D render, and we can get rid of film. Okay, so let's just connect these up. Make sure it's always connected up to the composite, and let's add a viewer node and drag this out of the way. Okay, let's just scale this so we can see what we're doing a bit better. So if you wanted to add a bit of a color grading, or an easy way to add color grading, you just come to here to this tab, down to color management, and you want to change render view here from default to film, and then straight away you've got a Filmic DSLR look, and you just want to increase the exposure and gamma. And you can also use curves and change the colors and go a bit more creative, but that's not enough control, so I'm going to change this back to default. And I'm going to show you a quick way how to color grade your shots and make them look a lot better than what they are now. So we're going to input by pressing Shift A, or you can come down here and press Add. We want to Shift A, we want a color, and we want a color mix. It doesn't matter which one you connect it up to, as long as they both go into the output, the composite and the viewer. I'm going to connect both of them up. Also Shift A, add a color, hue saturation, and put that on the bottom string. I'm going to reduce the saturation to 0. Okay. Also want to check auto refresh, and we want to change this to soft light. And it's important we make sure the input's this way, so when we reduce the factor it reduces the amount of darkness, but already it's boosting the shadows and making the shot look so much better from the original. That's just the first step. So increase this a bit more. And now if we add a filter and filter, add this, connect it up. Okay, so already what it's doing is adding a soften node to it. So what it needs to do is change this to sharpen. Straight away that's way too much. So we're going to reduce this down to 0.2. Around that area should work fine for this shot. Remember, all these settings will be different depending on which movie clip you're working on, so just mute that and you can see the difference. Just adds a bit more detail to the shot. So I'm going to add in a color balance node, and this is where you're going to add in the color grading. So there's so many different ways on how to color grade your shot, and it all depends on what film or what movie clip you're working on. Each color grading can be different, so don't be afraid to try and play with these colors. You only want to mess with the gamma and the gain. You don't want to touch the lift. So if you see here, change it to orange and it's washing out the sea, so change it back to blue. Change this over. We get a nice contrast between them both. Make sure you play with the darkness settings until you're happy with it. And then what we can do is we Shift D to duplicate this node, and then just change this back to 1, so how it was a minute ago. Now anything we increase over 1, it will boost the blues in the sky. So if we just increase it more, the saturation, it looks much better. So we check out the original, and then the color graded, So already it looks tons better with just a few nodes. So what we can do, and what I can do now is just going to duplicate this. I'm going to add in another shot from the same day. So you just plug these in straight away, and you can see this is the original, and this is the colour graded shot. Big improvement. I mean, some of the settings will need tweaking depending on the shot. See, this was later on in the day, about 20 minutes in the day, so the sky was a bit brighter. So yeah, just make sure you play with the shots, and that way you can get the colour grading the same for both shots. Okay, so them two would have been part of the same movie or short film or whatever you're working on. I'm going to add in a new image sequence, and this is going to be completely different. I'm just going to show you that the steps are still the same. So if we just see the original and then plug these in, of course we're going to need to change a few nodes since it's completely different colours. So this is what the result we get. So we need to delete the colour balance. Definitely need to reduce down the saturation on this one. And we can delete the curves. So we've just, from the original to the partially colour graded, we see with just these nodes here we can make a big difference in the quality of the movie clip. So all you need to do now is just add the colour balance. And depending on how you want the shot to look is which colours you go and how dark you go with them. So again, don't be afraid to try a few different options. So there we go. Okay, so once you've colour graded your shot, you want to render that out. So you can either render it out as a PNG image sequence, like so. So your settings are already set up for that. The compression, you can change the compression. If you want it to be a movie, you can choose one of these files here. I'm going to choose H.264, since that's what I always use, and it seems to work fine. Come to the top here and press animate. And then, yeah, you're done. So I hope this has helped. If it has, give it a like. Also, make sure you subscribe for new videos. And until the next time, thanks for watching.